Now welcome on board Arul Selvan, the CFO at Cholamandalam Investment and Finance, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Selvan, good set of numbers from you from the first quarter. Despite events like the election and a slow start to the monsoon, your AUM growth stands at about 35%, despite a higher base as well. Help us understand what are the tailwinds that are acting for you, and whether you're going to deliver this kind of growth in the next quarter too.
Yes, the disbursements grew by 22%. AUM growth will seem to be higher because we are now growing on the longer term products like home loan and LAP, which tends to have a longer, door-to-door maturity. So the AUM growth will always seem to be a little higher comparatively. So that is what is showing up as a 30% plus growth. Also, if you look at it, the AUM represents the investments held in hand, and we had kept around 14,000 crores of cash in bank, which in FDs, which is also part of it. This is because we foresaw certain requirements coming up in the next 2 months. So accordingly, we have kept this investment in hand, and this will get consumed. So this will moderate as we move forward into the Q2 and Q3 to around 30% growth.
Okay, so are you ready then to increase your AUM guidance? Earlier it was 20-25%. You've done better than that already.
No, you need to wait one more quarter is my request, because we need to see how the monsoons play out. Because if you recall, we had said that monsoons play a large part of a role in our growth because large part of our volumes come from rural. We expect it to be good with the housing subsidy increases as well as the government's plan to improve the rural economy. However, we would request to wait for one more quarter before we come with more clearer guidance whether it is going to be higher than the 25% target for the full year which we spoke about. The trend seems to be positive, but we would request you to wait for one more quarter.
Right. Tell us about how you see your AUM mix as well evolving going forward. And you were earlier aiming for vehicle finance to make up 50% of your AUM. Is that plan on?
Yeah, it will. The 50% number was given over the next 3 years. So it will come down. If you see, it came down from 58% to 57% this quarter. It may come down to around 55% by the time we close this financial year. And we will see an increase in LAP and home loans, so the mortgage-based businesses moving up. The CSEL and the SME and the SBPL, the new businesses, they will constitute the balance of the portfolio. They are growing steadily. SME has been growing a little slower because they are shifting their portfolio from supply chain to other longer tenure products. So that is where you are not seeing the growth visible there, but it will also start showing growth. And PSL and SBPL have got good growth legs and potential, especially with the new government subsidies coming into play in the rural. You'll see SBPL picking up a bit more.
And how's been the overall demand trends, let's say new vehicle versus old vehicle, and would you, as in the used vehicles that is, and would you continue focusing a bit more on the passenger side of things?
The used vehicle market picked up because of the price differential between the BS4 and the BS6 being substantially higher. But as we move forward, I think over the next 1 or 2 years, this demand will continue. Post that, the stock of BS4 vehicles, which are of the vintage which we play with, which is the sub 10-year vintage, will come down a bit. So by then, it will moderate and it will stabilize at around the 30% number we are seeing of the vehicle finance portfolio.
Yeah, right. You were also aiming for LAP and home loans to contribute about 30% to your AUM, and you've managed to do that. Now that the key focus areas, growth strategies, I'm sure you've all put that in place. So what exactly is it that you're planning?
Yes, this has got good potential to grow. We are working on that. It will move up beyond the 30%. It will be in the range of 30 to 35% as we move forward. So overall, let's say in the next 3 years, vehicle finance will be in the range of around 50% or sub 50%. And then the loan against property and the mortgages businesses The home loan businesses will be in the range of around 35%, and the rest of the businesses will constitute 15%.
Fair point, but there was a lot of push when it comes to the entire housing segment in the budget as well. What's the scale-up potential you believe within that, and any specific geographies or tier 3, tier 4 cities that you are targeting right now?
See, we are comfortable growing the business in within the same NBFC portfolio itself. We have been growing it, and you are seeing them grow. And we are moving into. We used to be more south focused. Now we are moving into other parts of the country, and we see good traction there. It's a good business, especially if we focus on the tier 3, tier 4 type of towns and cities. That's where we are focusing on. And being a national player, it helps us to concentrate on these segments where we have already penetrated with our vehicle finance business being there. So it helps us to know the local knowledge and then grow this business without suffering any serious delinquencies. So we will pursue this, and we will grow this business as we move into the coming quarters and the next year.
Yuvanand's fundraising of about 48,000 crore right now. Have you raised thousands of crores in the quarter gone by? What is the deployment strategy? How does this shape up the debt?
This is an enabling resolution which we do every year, but we don't really fully utilize it. So, we are focusing on raising money from the money market. There has been guidance from the SEBI as well to raise 25% of our long-term borrowings from the money market. We are working on it, and we are confident that we will reach the target. And so that is what we take an enabling resolution. It's not necessarily all of that 48,000 will be raised through money market, in the year. For example, last year we had around 35 to 38,000 crores, but we raised much lesser than what we had taken in. But this is more an enabling resolution.
Right. Thank you so much, then, for taking the time out, Mr. Selvan, and speaking with us today. We're going to take a very quick break on that note.